Hi, I'm Dan Schreiber with WearBands, and I just wanted to give you tennis players and coaches some tips on using the system for the first time as you get acquainted with it. There's just some useful tips you ought to know. So let's get started. The first thing is, when you look at the WearBands setup video, we'll show you how to hook up the system and put our socks on and slip them inside your shoe. No problem there. What we want people to know is for ease of use with the system, the socks are very comfortable. So once your players have the sock inside their shoe, they're all laced up, and you go ahead and hook up. If you ever want to stop, using the system during a practice or fitness session, you can certainly just take off the belt and put it aside. You don't really need to take the socks off. The socks are very comfortable. Just leave them in the shoe. That's really the simplest thing to do. If you want to take a break and have your player get a little breather, get some water, take his socks off, and put his shoes back on, that's fine. But if you're looking to really keep practice moving along, you don't want to take that extra time, we recommend to just leave the socks in for the whole practice session, whether using the system or not. So that's what we recommend for the socks. Our second thing we like to tell people about is a lot of people think they're going to put on WearBands, they're going to practice for 15 or 20 minutes in it, they're going to take it off, they're going to feel light as air. Not true. In fact, your athletes, as they adjust to the system particularly, they're going to feel pretty heavy. When they take the system off, they're going to have pretty dead legs. This system, unlike other partial solutions that are out there that people use, this system is really activating everything. It's putting your core, your glutes, your legs, even your feet and ankles under full-time resistance over an extended period of time as you're moving. When you take them off, it's really akin to maybe just coming out of a weight room session where you're doing a bunch of squats or lunges or something. Your athletes are going to have very tired legs. So we do recommend, at least as they're getting adjusted to the system, which takes a few sessions, if you're going to do your conditioning, maybe move your conditioning towards the end of practice, so it'll be the last thing they do is use their WearBands. If you do the beginning of practice, they take off the system, and then you want to do a lot of footwork, have them move around the court a lot, you're going to find they're very sluggish. Now, as they get used to the system, if you want to train your athletes in more of a fatigue state, which is great for that third set or that fifth set, you can use them at the beginning. They're going to fatigue your athlete pretty quickly. Then you can take them off and do your training work in a fatigue state. They're great for that, but we wouldn't recommend necessarily over that adjustment period, the first few sessions, to use them at the beginning of practice, because you're going to find your athletes are going to have very dead legs. And remember, WearBands is a resistance training system. So it's a resistance workout your athletes are getting. So we do recommend, like with any resistance workout, that they take maybe at least 1, maybe 2 days in between use to give their bodies time to recover. So that's what we recommend as far as that goes. The next thing I'd like to cover real quick is our upper body system. These come with our gloves and our upper body bands you see here. Some of you may have purchased the upper body system, some of you haven't. But what it's here for, a lot of coaches like it because it gives their players some good neuromuscular feedback so they don't take their racket back too far. It kind of stops them right here. It also helps them accelerate through the shot and get some better racket speed. So some people do like it for that, and that's a particular use. You don't need the upper body system. You can just work with the lower body system. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that and how some people are using it if you're interested in coming back to our store and purchasing it. And really the final thing I have to say about the system is don't limit yourself. A lot of people buy the system, they say, well, I'm going to use it, just for some foot drills, around the court, maybe while my athlete's hitting purely for conditioning. Great for that, but as we mentioned with the upper body system, it can also be used as sort of a training system to keep your players in a good position, both hitting through and staying in a nice athletic position. But don't forget your ladder drills, your cone drills, your hurdle drills, your conditioning drills. When you're in the gym, maybe you have a big medicine ball and you're doing some rotational work. Don't forget whether you're doing that or maybe you have doing some box jumps with WearBands. You can also, use the system really for anything. We even have Olympic athletes that use it with barbells. They load up the barbells, and when they do their squats, they find they're activating a lot of muscles that the barbell alone won't do. So, go ahead and experiment with it. Really, any types of drills that you're doing where you want to build up that neuromuscular strength and muscular endurance, it's great for that. So don't limit it. Go ahead and use it for lots of different things, and I think you'll find that maybe it has a lot more uses than what you originally got it for. So we just like to let people know that, that they're free to try really anything with it and find a lot of uses. So thanks very much for listening. Again, I'm Dan Schreiber with WearBands. Never hesitate to reach out to us at info@wearbands.com with any questions you may have about the system. We're always here to help. Thanks very much, and have a good hit.